taking a look at what's happening today in national news. India's Prime Minister is set to meet with President Donald Trump at the White House with the topic of trade between the two countries front and center. This comes after President Trump has threatened reciprocal tariffs against any countries with tariffs on U.S. goods, which would include India. As of last year, the United States is India's largest trade partner. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is expected to deliver an address today at NATO Defense Ministers Summit in Belgium. Hegseth already making waves at NATO, telling reporters the war between Ukraine and Russia must end and saying Ukraine joining NATO is unrealistic. Hegseth also says the return to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders before Russia invaded Crimea is also unrealistic to reach a negotiated settlement. The defense secretary announcing no U.S. troops will be deployed to defend Ukraine, but the Trump administration intends to end the war through diplomacy. After delivering remarks, Hegseth will head to Warsaw, Poland. Plus, a hearing will take place in Maryland over the legal challenges against President Trump's executive orders defining sexes and stopping federal support for gender-affirming care for minors. The lawsuit was filed earlier this month by families with transgender or non-binary children. The executive order aims to stop funding the medical care through federal government-run health insurance programs such as Medicaid and TRICARE. And major cuts are shaking up the Department of Education as Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency eliminate dozens of contracts and grants, many aimed at improving education. Scripps News Group's Alex Miller is breaking down what this means moving forward.
Major cuts are being proposed in the Department of Education, but it's unclear how it's all going to pan out. 169 contracts and grants have been terminated, including DEI initiatives and a study that looks at what works and what doesn't in public education. Elon Musk's advisory board, the Department of Government Efficiency, announced big cuts this week.
The people voted for major government reform, and that's what people are going to get.
Nearly $1 billion in proposed cuts primarily target DEI initiatives and research by the Institute of Educational Sciences, a nonpartisan research arm of the Department of Education.
A lot isn't clear, but it's very possible that IES in its present form will not continue to exist.
Robert Siegel is a professor of psychology and education at Columbia University.
We think this is a version of throwing out the baby with the bathwater, that yes, there are some problems that need to be dealt with, but IES it supports a lot of excellent research.
IES research tracks students' progress and makes recommendations to better public education. It's used by educators, state and local education departments, school districts, and colleges. Included in the proposed cuts is the What Works Clearinghouse.
This is an organization within IES that tests what works. They also find what doesn't work.
The IES is one of the largest funders of education research, which could mean a significant loss of important data about schools. It includes a wide array of topics, from helping students learn fractions to lowering high school dropout rates. The National Center for Education Statistics for now is not impacted, which publishes the nation's report card. It recently saw a startling decline in reading scores. The IES budget accounts for less than 1% of the entire Department of Education budget, and the entire Department of Education budget accounts for less than 4% of the federal government back in 2024. Alex Miller, Scripps News Group, New York.